Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I am Dr. Goat, and today I'm going to be giving you guys the 5 simple steps to driving a manual transmission vehicle. Okay guys, so before we even get at this, I want to show you guys the few little differences that a manual car is going to have over an automatic. First of all, down here, as always, you got your throttle, you have your brake pedal, and this little guy over here all the way to the left is your clutch. Lucky for you guys, my clutch is squeaky right now, so you'll be able to hear when I am pushing that in and letting that out. Secondly, I have a handbrake here. Well, parking brake, I guess you should say. I know a lot of the newer cars just have a little button or something you can push or flip, but my specific car does have the full-on lever. And then of course, right here, instead of, you know, park, reverse, neutral, drive, all that, you got your stick. So let's hop in here and get at it. Okay guys, so step number 1, and yes, I am calling this a step, is starting the vehicle. I've seen plenty of videos online of new drivers or even kids or whatever starting a manual transmission car, not realizing the car was in gear, and yeah. There's a Mustang video around there of a kid basically putting his dad's car right through their garage door. So anyways, step number 1, before I even put the key in, what I'm doing, what I always like to do, I like to make sure parking brake is on and the car is in neutral. The easiest way to tell that is, you know, shaking it to the side like that. If it's in a gear, it's not really going to want to move. Okay, so hear that clutch? I'm pushing the clutch in, sticking the key in. As I said, I'm in neutral. Parking brake's on. Turn the key. And we're running. And I can now let out of the clutch. Since we're not in a gear, you can let out of the clutch. It's not gonna matter, okay? Step number 2 is gonna be just taking off. Getting rolling. Honestly, I mean, obviously, to most people, that is the hardest part to learn, because it's just kind of, you know, getting to learn the threshold there of how quickly to let out of the clutch and all that. So anyways, before we get any farther, I'm going to let you guys know, this car specifically, it's 2012 Subaru WRX. It is a 5-speed manual transmission. So we've got, I'm going to push the clutch in right here. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, and then all the way over and down is reverse. Okay, so as I showed you there, you got to push you have to push the clutch in to get the vehicle into gear, and you will do the same to get it out of gear. But anyways, to get going here, I'm gonna push the brake in, because I'm gonna take the e-brake off, and now I'm pushing the clutch in, coming over, putting the car in first gear, and now taking off. What you're going to want to do is lightly and very slowly let out of the clutch while you gently give it some throttle. So I'm taking my foot off the brake, I'm on a level ground, I'm letting out of the clutch. You can kind of hear it grabbing, it's pulling us forward a little bit. So I give it a little throttle as I continue to let out of the clutch. And you're going. Okay, once again, like I said, I'm off the brake right now, letting out of the clutch. So you can kind of hear it bog the engine down. And if you can see that, we are starting to roll forward. I'm not even giving it any throttle right now, but then I'll give it a little throttle as I continue to finally release the clutch and take my foot off of the clutch. So that was step number 2. Honestly, that is probably gonna be the thing that gives you the most difficulty when learning to drive a manual, is just the figuring out when to give it throttle, and just like I say, slowly letting off of that clutch. I will show you real quick before we move on to number 3 what will happen if you let out of the clutch too quickly, and that's going to be that the car is going to stall. So if I just foot off the brake, and if I just let the clutch out, just drop it, stalled the car right there. Which, it will more than likely happen. It's no big deal. It happens to everybody. Step number 3 here is going to be shifting gears, going up in gears as you're speeding up. Once again, I'm in first, but now we're gonna get going here. Once you pick up some speed, what you're going to do is let out of the throttle, push in on the clutch, pull the stick into the next gear, and then you will release the clutch and give it more throttle. So here we go, ready? Just like that. I'm gonna turn around and we'll do it again. We're rolling. Remember, clutch in. You're pretty much switching your feet in and out like that. Right now, my right foot's down, my left foot's out. I'm going to reverse them, change gear, and then reverse them back again and get back on the throttle. That's honestly the easiest way for me personally to think of it, is just envisioning what you're gonna do with your feet is you're just kind of swapping them out for each other. Well, one is off a pedal, the other's on, essentially. So that brings us to step number 4, which is going to be downshifting. I'm not getting into any technicals of rev matching or anything like that right now. I am simply just talking, you know, you're coming up to a stop sign, coming up to a stoplight, and you're gonna start downshifting gears. Your main thing here, let me put it in neutral. Your main thing here is just slowing down to where your RPMs are a little bit lower. I would usually say 2,000, 1,500, somewhere in there. If you're not rev matching, I usually rev match myself, but yeah, just coming down in gears. I'm gonna go back out on the road here, get up to 3rd gear, coming back here, and we'll downshift. And that, just like upshifting, like I said, you're going to be just swapping feet to get it in that gear. But like I say, if your RPMs are too high and you're not rev matching, you'll feel the car kind of pull. But yeah, you'll just slowly, you'll learn it as you get used to the car, how fast you need to be going, what RPMs you need to be at to get to be downshifting into a specific gear, which will be the same as upshifting. You know, every vehicle's different. You just kind of got to get some practice in the vehicles to learn. So again, I'm gonna quickly get up in gear. All right, I'm in 3rd gear. Yeah, I'm kind of lugging it right now, 1,500 RPM. Like I said, swap feet, pull it down, right there. I'm gonna let her drop back down to about 1,500. Swap feet. See right there, she kind of pulled. 1st gear in this car does not like to be going very fast. Like I say, that is literally the same as going up in gears. It's just, if your RPMs are a little higher than the car would like, I guess essentially, the car's just gonna kind of jerk you a little bit. And then, you know, from there, if this is like, say, your daily driver, you will learn that, hey, Obviously the RPMs were too high, I was going too fast, whichever way you want to look at it. So I need to be going a little slower to downshift into that gear. So finally, the last step to this, step number 5, is just coming to a stop. I know a lot of people that throw the car in neutral and just push the brake in when they're coming up to a stop. I guess this all depends on what's going on, like how much traffic there is, if you're going to be sitting at a light for a while, or if you're just coming up to a stop sign and going to be taking right back off. If you're going to be coming to a stop sign and taking right back off, personally, I do not put the car in neutral. Honestly, I only put the car in neutral if I've been sitting at a light for a minute and it's taken longer than I was expecting. But I'll show you that way real quick, which a lot of people do, which we're just going to take off here. Say the stop sign's right up here. I'll push the clutch in, put it in neutral, come up, push the brakes, and just stop. Just like that. Okay, so obviously, like I say, if you were not going to put the car in neutral and just come to a stop like that, say you're coming up to a light, you'll be downshifting, you come up to the light, all you're going to be doing is you'll be taking your right foot off of the throttle, you'll be slowly putting it on the brake, but you want to make sure that you are pushing the clutch in. If you are in gear, coming to a stop, push the clutch in. Otherwise, again, you'll stall the car just like you would if you let out of the clutch too fast. I will demonstrate that real quick, the not pushing the clutch in. We're rolling. I'm just gonna push the brake in, car in gear. Just like that. She don't like it. Which, that is a good way to very quickly remember that you need to push the clutch in. Let's just do that real quick. We're gonna roll, we're gonna come up here and we're gonna, oh my gosh, that clutch is annoying. Coming up here to this little road, clutch in and brake. Car's still running, we're good. All set to keep moving. And that's that, everybody. All right, guys, so I know I have a bad habit of kind of rambling on, but hopefully that helps you guys out. Like I said, 5 steps right there. Number 1, I always like to make sure the car is in neutral and that the parking brake is on when I start the car. Number 2 was taking off, slowly letting out of the clutch while you slowly apply the throttle. Step number 3 was upshifting, which is just as you're going along, you are pushing the clutch in while you are at the same time releasing the throttle, shifting into the next gear, and then doing the reverse there, letting out of the clutch while you give it throttle. Step number 4 is downshifting, which is as you're rolling along, say you're in 3rd gear on the throttle, you push the clutch in and release the throttle at the same time. You will pull it down into 2nd gear. Then you will release the clutch as you give it throttle. Like I say on that step there, if the RPMs are a little bit too high, you're gonna kind of feel the car jerk. It's just something you'll have to learn with the car. And then of course, step number 5 was stopping. Like I say, I know a lot of people that will just, as they're rolling up to a stop sign or stoplight, whatever, they'll push the clutch in, pop it into neutral, and then you can release the clutch and just push the brake and come to a stop. Otherwise, you will do your downshifting as you're coming up to the stop, and then you will release the throttle, push the clutch in, and then give it brake. And make sure you hold the clutch in the whole time that you're stopped. So anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Drop a comment down below if you've got any questions, anything that I can help you with there. And as always, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.